So everyone, welcome to SupaJam Podcast. I'm David and we're here at the opening launch party for SupaJam Swanley. Woo! And we're very lucky to have Florence Sommerville here today. How are you doing, Florence?
I'm doing very well. I'm very happy to be here.
I know, we're so grateful you came in, done some songs with us as well.
Absolutely.
Great. And I've obviously got to mention Laura's here with us. How are you doing, Laura?
Hi, how you doing? I'm good.
Very good.
Very
so
excited.
You guys are the connection that brought Florence to SupaJam, right? I
Yes.
think. Yeah, is that right?
Yeah.
How cool
Yes.
is that? So how did you guys know each other then?
Well, it's a really weird one because Florence has wanted to get involved with SupaJam for the last 2 years.
Okay.
And there's just been
Yes.
other things that have kind of come in the way. And I started working for SupaJam in November last year.
Yep.
And I heard Florence's name in the meeting and I said, Florence Sommerville. I know Florence. I've written songs with her.
No
I
way.
know Florence. We've opened gigs for each other before now. We know each other. And then straight away I said, can I organise it? Because I'd love to get her in because she's amazing. And so is Alan. So that's how we're here 2 years on. And
That's how it happened.
Wow,
like fate.
I'm buzzing.
It was. And I'm so happy to be here. And I've been such a fan of SupaJam and the whole thing for such a long time. And it's so important. It's such an important thing that I think sometimes gets overlooked. So I'm just so happy to be here. And so happy that Laura did go, oh, I know that person. She sounds familiar.
She's marvellous and so talented. We're very lucky to have her.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Well, I thought it might be fun to chat about your music and some of the stuff you mentioned during the set, maybe some of the songs. And I thought the first song seemed like a bit of an emotional one. And I know sometimes our young people are a bit like, it's scary, like bearing like emotions like that and getting out there. So if you got any advice, any like of our younger listeners who are starting out in music and maybe want to say something in music or are a bit nervous too, because you have to be quite vulnerable. Any advice to anyone who's doing that?
It's terrifying. And you know, when I first started, I've been writing since I was about 13 or 14. And for a really long time, I only wrote songs about other people because I thought it was safer. I thought the songs were better because I could be more objective. And I wrote about other people. But then the first song that I ever wrote about myself took months because I'd do a bit and then leave it. And then I couldn't do any more. And then I'd come back to it. And it's just proof that you should come back to them because that first song that I ever wrote about myself became the first song I ever released.
No way.
And the title track of my first EP that came out in 2023. And it was called On My Way. And it was terrifying because it was all about how I didn't know what I was going to do with my life and with myself as a person. And the future as a young person is really scary sometimes. And about being afraid to ask for help and all of that stuff. And now it's so funny because I look back on that song and I think, oh, I'm not like that anymore. Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. So it is therapeutic and it is really hard when you write a song about yourself that's maybe vulnerable or hard or maybe hard for other people to hear if it's something about something like that. But it's important because those are the songs that people care about.
Yeah.
Those are the songs that people connect with. And in a 2-hour set, audience members will pick out my most vulnerable songs and go, I love that one. That's the one that I resonated with. That's the one that I saw myself in. And that's everything that you want. That's everything you want with music is to just have someone in the audience come up and say, that was important to me and you made me feel seen. And so please do it.
Yeah.
Please do it because that's important and it's and it's terrifying. It is terrifying, but you can do it.
Yeah, and it's that thing of like in songwriting, sometimes you would think, oh, this is so personal that can anyone relate to it? And often that means like, often it happens to be, and that's the song that's most relatable, right?
Oh my goodness, it is so funny you say that because there's a song of mine that I wrote about my hometown. I live in a tiny village in Essex called Orsett.
I get that. I'm a rural boy from Highlands of Scotland, so
amazing,
yeah, I get it.
amazing.
Yeah.
And it
Being
felt,
the music freak in your small hometown.
oh, that was me my whole childhood. But you know how, because it's a small place, you definitely get this. You feel like, apart from the people that live there, no one else knows about it and no one else has touched it. And so I wrote a song about how much I loved growing up there. And I genuinely thought that no one would get it. and that no one would want to hear it because it was so specific. It was talking about the fact that we have an old church and we have one shop and yeah, there's a post office, but there's not anything else to do. And it was so specific. When I wrote it, I thought, no one's gonna like that. No one's gonna want to hear that, apart from my mum and the people in my family and the people of Orsett. And it's so fun when I do a gig and I play that song and someone is there that knows Orsett or is from Orsett. That happened last week, and it was nowhere near where I live.
Yeah.
And I said, I wrote this song about my hometown, Orsett. Does anyone know Orsett? Jokingly, and some lady went, yeah, I know Orsett.
Yeah, I was like, you're putting it on the map.
She's
I know.
taking notes on how accurately you've described it. Like,
Exactly.
I don't remember that M&S.
Yes, you were lying. That post office never used to be there. But it's so lovely because even though that's the song I thought no one would like, it ended up on my album. It ended up being a single. It ended up being played on BBC Two.
Nice.
And it's the song that most people ask me about or talk to me about because it reminds them of their hometown or where they grew up or their tiny little slice of this big, huge, massive world. So it's important.
It's interesting, isn't it, that the songs that have resonated with people most for your music have been the ones that are personal and authentic. So it must come through, and it does come through with your writing and the authenticity of you, and people love that, and people love you, and people are believing in you as a product, as a person, as an artist. So when you're being really authentic, talking about your hometown, people love it.
Absolutely. And they find something to relate to with that because all people want from artists or from songwriters or from musicians is that little bit of humanity. Mm-hmm. And I will say that as one, we're put on a pedestal. Pedestal? Pedal stool?
Pedal stool.
Oh,
like
I'm a songwriter, guys. I can't spell. Laura knows what I'm talking about.
I'm here for it.
So, we're put on a pedestal, and sometimes people expect us to be this mysterious, really cool. I've not been cool a day in my life.
Same.
And I am proud to be so because what audiences really want is that little bit of humanity because it allows them to relate to you and your music and like you as a person.
You've got to be likable. You just got to be you.
Exactly. You got
and
to
then
be you.
people will buy into you because they like you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing when it comes to vulnerable songs or songs about yourself. It actually is easier to be a good musician if you're singing about yourself because you haven't got to act.
This is true.
If this song is sad and it is something that made you sad, you can stand up there and sing it and be sad. And people will be sad with you.
I read an amazing quote from the legendary producer Rick Rubin, who was like, if the only goal in music is to be yourself, then any comparison and competition is redundant. Which is so like for anyone who's out there comparing, like I'm not as good as them, or I'm like it doesn't matter because you're not meant to be them. You're meant to be you.
Yes,
the goal is to be
and
yourself.
It sort of sums up a lot of what like some of the points you were bringing up there for sure. Yeah.
Can I get that tattooed on my forehead?
Yeah,
yes.
you can. Rick
really
Rubin will want a like cut of it.
Just send him a picture.
Royalties.
It is.
It's like a hymn.
Yeah.
It is.
Yes.
Yep.
My goodness.
So I'm interested as well because like we're talking about writing about yourself and emotions, but your hometown as well, which in a way is quite observational, but it's through your lens. So do you like a mixture of observational songs and kind of more like deeply personal songs, or is there a certain way the needle falls these days?
You know what, the thing I love most in music is variety. Mm-hmm. So, and don't get me wrong, I love some of these, really famous, really successful albums that are all about one thing are amazing. But for me and my music is I love variety. So I love a playlist. I love to make my albums as varied as possible, just like my sets.
Yeah.
Because I am a born and bred a live performer. I've been performing live since I was very young. And so when I started putting albums together, putting an album track list together is very different than putting a live set together. Yeah. And I've learnt this. But I still want that, not live set sound, but just that live set feel that takes you on a journey. Mm-hmm. And so I love a bit of both. I love observational and personal from, first person, third person. I love both. There's a song of mine called Overton.
Yeah.
And it was a song that I wrote when I had nothing to write about.
Yeah.
And I mean, songwriters love to stand here and tell you about the time that they thought up the most amazing song idea while they were just in the shower and it was that easy. And sometimes it is that easy, but most of the time we sit around going, what in the world are we going to write about today? And so when I wrote Overton, it was one of those days. And I wasn't writing with anyone else. It was just myself. And so I really had to come up with an idea. And I just saw the place Overton, not in the UK, because I didn't realise there was one. I was looking at a map of America, and there's this place called Overton I think it's in Nebraska. And I'd never heard of it. And it looked like this town that was like one stoplight and that's about it. And I thought, oh, great, no one's ever written about that. I'm going to make up a story and I'm going to write it about that, and it's going to be called Overton. And I did. And it's a story about a marriage that goes south, and it's a whole family and just what that entails and how that feels. And the whole song is written in the third person. So it's like I am this strange being, which I am.
You said it.
Yeah, you know. I can
words,
say it.
not
Love you,
ours.
girl.
I can say it. I am
very well.
this strange being that is watching this, you know, this breakup or this falling out of love happen. And then right at the end, the punchline is that I am actually the woman in the relationship. And so sometimes perspectives could be so funny because you can use them to your advantage. So you can make the twist ending happen by switching the perspective and having it be from entirely observational to entirely internal. And sometimes it can be very useful.
Yeah. And you mentioned that thing about inspiration. Sometimes songs come really quickly, or sometimes you're just sitting there like that. And you mentioned, this day I had to come up with it. So is that part of your routine almost every day, trying to write new stuff? So you're fine tuning your writing. Is that something you just recommend to like a budding writer to like kind of just try as much as possible?
Oh, absolutely. Don't be afraid to write bad things.
Yeah.
I would say, I couldn't even tell you how many things I've written, but 95% of them are bad. Don't throw them away.
They're not.
Don't throw them away.
They're
She's
really not
lying.
bad.
She's really lying. She's lying.
Gold dust.
But it's don't be afraid to be messy. Don't be afraid to be mad. Don't be afraid to be bad. Don't be afraid to be upset. Don't be afraid to be frustrated. All of these things are good because they will allow you to get better.
Yeah.
And so I just write as much as I can. And I mean, we all know that the best ideas come in the most inopportune times, when you're driving or when you're doing something where you can't sit down and write the song. So always have the voice memos on your phone.
Yeah.
It's true.
I have no phone storage.
Yeah.
I will tell you that right now, because it is all voice memos of me at 2 a.m, half awake going,
But at the time, it's the best song you've
Absolutely.
ever heard in your head. And then you listen back in the morning and you go, I don't know what that was.
yeah.
I don't remember. I had the whole song in my head, the production, the drums, everything. And then you go, I don't remember what that was.
But you have to do it. Paul McCartney said a great interview quote. He was like, imagine inspiration's like your friend, right? And when they come round, you give them a cup of tea, hang out, and they're going to come round more. But if you're like, oh no, I'm busy, sorry mate, I'll catch you later, they stop coming as much. And he imagined inspiration. So he's like, you've got to write it as quick as possible.
Yes.
Write it down or hum it down into a note or whatever.
Yeah.
And I totally agree. And it's sort of, and actually one of the students we used to have here, Harry, shout out Harry, he was like, it's like a broken tap that's sort of dribbling, and then suddenly it's just like,
Yeah, that's cool.
You're a
that's good.
songwriter because
Yes.
it's just like coming more and more and more. So treat inspiration like a friend.
Yeah.
Really,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. Or
I
a
like
cup of
Cup of
tea.
tea,
Cup of tea
a glass of
theory.
prosecco.
Yeah.
If you're over 18,
Yes.
listeners.
But it's important that, not every idea is going to be a good idea, and that's okay. Not every song that you write is going to be your best song, and that's okay. But if you don't like something, don't just trash it.
True.
Because
it's so important.
When I was young, I'm a bit of a hoarder anyway. So in any any part of my life, I have way too many things. But I hoard all my ideas like a little pack rat, because in 2 years' time, that might not be the right idea to write right now. But in 2 years' time, it might be the best idea ever because you can look at it in a different way.
Yeah.
Some of the best gold dust.
I've heard of it. I've heard it called vault mentality. Like,
Yes.
we're not all like Prince. We kind of have an actual vault
Yes.
Like with a big door on it, but you can have like a
Probably
metaphorical
purple.
vault, like whether it's
Yeah.
like Google Doc that backs up or a special notepad or whatever.
Well, that's
or
really
stuff
funny
like that.
that
You know,
say
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I found.
You've got a vault. You've got an actual vault.
I have an actual vault. No, I don't have an actual vault. If I did have one, I would want a purple one.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
But no, I found an old notebook because I'm a big fan of pen and paper.
Yeah.
Some things have to be done digitally, like if you're writing on Zoom, which I do a fair amount of, shared documents and all that jazz. But I'm a big fan of pen and paper, and I have been my whole life. And so I found my first songwriting notebook. I found my first one. I was doing a very rare clear out. And yeah, I found this notebook. I couldn't read the handwriting, so not much has changed. But these songs that my brain had literally shrouded in darkness that I could not remember, I opened this book and I thought, oh my goodness, yeah, these songs, they're terrible. But this was me at 13 years old.
Yeah.
Do you remember
This
the
was me.
melodies? Did you remember the
One
melodies?
of them.
Yeah.
Cool.
One of the first ever song I wrote.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is a funny story. The first ever song I wrote, I didn't know how to write songs. I didn't know what to write about. So I wrote about being a musician.
Love that. Love that vibe. Manifestation.
Yeah, exactly. It was called The Stage.
Didn't. Oh.
Yeah,
is it-
absolutely.
Yep. Sorry, I was going to make a Nickelback rock star joke there. I want to be you. They ripped you off, right?
Yeah,
They
they
found
did.
your notebook.
That's what happened. So they found
I
13-year-old
hope you're getting
Florence's
royalties.
notebook and they said, this is going to be it for us. Oh my goodness.
And they ruined it.
They ruined it. How dare
The
they?
song would have been much better if you'd done it.
It would have been
obviously.
so much. No.
Yeah.
It would have been so much better. How dare they? They're not even successful.
I know.
But yeah, but it's so funny because those, you never know, in 10 years or, you know, however long, you want those old bad songs because it might be hidden gold dust.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
You might come
100%.
back to some of those ideas and go, actually, that's for album number 2.
Exactly. That song,
Done.
not very good, but that line
Or that chorus.
melody,
Yes.
absolutely. Or that vague idea that I can spin into something else.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe it was the right song but the wrong time, and there's going to be a right time soon.
Yes.
That is so accurate.
Yes.
Cool. Well, we will continue this conversation, hopefully, because Canterbury's getting lined up to come do a gig. So we're at the SupaJam Swanley launch party just now. So Florence played a gig here. You're going to get clips of the music in this as well. And I want to say thanks so much for coming. We're excited that you're going to come
Thank you
to
for
Canterbury
having
as
me.
well.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm
Buzzing for that.
so excited.
And-
These colleges are just brilliant.
I know, and thank you so much to Laura for helping organise this and
Oh,
coming on the
man.
podcast too. I feel like
Anytime.
Laura deserves her own
Pleasure.
songwriting podcast at
I
one
would
point
love
as
to.
well.
I would
Yes.
love that.
We
That
need
would
to.
be awesome. I'm so
Yeah,
down.
it's my personal favourite side of music making is the original
Writing.
music side of things.
Yes.
So yeah, cool. Well,
Yeah.
thanks so much. Thanks for listening, everyone who's listening. Hope this inspired you in your music making, and we'll catch you later. Bye.
Bye.